Right now, at this very moment, there are at least 6 nuclear bombs lost somewhere on this planet. Some are sitting on the ocean floor. One is buried under a farm in North Carolina, and nobody knows exactly where they are. During the Cold War, accidents with nuclear weapons happen more often than you'd think. The US military has a name for these incidents: broken arrow. It's what they call any unexpected event involving nuclear weapons that result in an accidental launch, explosion, theft, or, the worst part, losing the weapon entirely. Since 1950, there have been 32 of these accidents. Today, we're talking about the 6 weapons that were never found. Where are they now? And how close did we come to disaster? February 13th, 1950, a B-36 Peacemaker bomber takes off on a practice run, simulating a nuclear attack on the Soviet Union. On board, 17 crew members and 1 Mark IV bomb, basically the same type of weapon used on Nagasaki. The outside temperature, 40 degrees below zero. The cold was so extreme that ice started building up in the engines. One engine caught fire, then another, then another. 3 of the 6 engines were burning. The commander faced an impossible choice: try an emergency landing with a nuclear bomb on board or bail out. He picked option 2. But before the crew could jump, they had to get rid of the bomb. They couldn't risk letting Soviet spies get their hands on it. The Mark IV was dropped over the Pacific Ocean. The conventional explosives inside detonated on impact, creating a bright flash that lit up the night sky. Now, officially, the military says the bomb only had lead and TNT inside, not the actual plutonium core. But some researchers still wonder, was the real core actually on board that night? The bomb's wreckage was never found. It's somewhere on the ocean floor off the coast of British Columbia, probably buried under decades of sand and mud. That wouldn't be the last broken arrow. The next one, it just vanished. March 10th, 1956, a B-47 Stratojet takes off from Florida headed to Morocco, just another routine flight across the Atlantic. The plane was carrying 2 containers of nuclear material in special transport cases. During the second mid-air refueling over the Mediterranean Sea, the B-47 flew into a thick layer of clouds and was never seen again. No distress call, no wreckage found, no sign of the crew. The 2 nuclear containers simply disappeared. Search teams swept the Mediterranean for weeks. Divers, sonar, rescue boats, nothing. The B-47, its crew, and its nuclear cargo are still down there somewhere. Here's what makes this even more disturbing. The Mediterranean is one of the busiest bodies of water on Earth. Millions of people swim in these waters every year with no idea what's lying below them. February 5th, 1958. Major Howard Richardson was on a routine training mission off the coast of Georgia. His B-47 was carrying a Mark 15 hydrogen bomb, a weapon roughly 100 times more powerful than the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. Out of nowhere, an F-86 Saberjet collided with the bomber mid-air. The impact tore off part of the B-47's wing. The plane started losing altitude fast. Richardson had an impossible decision to make: try and landing with the bomb and risk a nuclear explosion on American soil, or drop it in the ocean and hope it's never found. He chose the ocean. From an altitude of 7,200 feet, the Mark 15 bomb was released into Wassaw Sound, near Tybee Island. The search started immediately. Navy divers combed the area for months. Sonar swept the bay floor again and again, but the weapon was declared irretrievable. It's believed to be buried under layers of mud at the bottom of the bay. And here's a really unsettling part. Tybee Island is a popular tourist spot. Every year, thousands of people swim, fish, and go sailing within a few miles of a lost nuclear bomb. Nobody knows exactly where it is. The losses didn't stop there. In 1965, a simple mistake led to one of the worst nuclear losses in history. December 5th, 1965. The aircraft carrier USS Ticonderoga was sailing through the Philippine Sea. On deck, an A-4E Skyhawk attack jet was being prepped for takeoff. Inside the jet, Pilot Lieutenant Douglas Webster and the 1-megaton B-43 nuclear bomb. Then it happened. For reasons never fully explained, the Skyhawk started rolling sideways across the deck. Webster tried desperately to brake, but it was too late. The jet slid off the deck and plunged into the ocean. Webster, the plane, and the nuclear bomb all sank together. Here's a problem. They went down 500 miles from the nearest land in water more than 16,000 feet deep. To put that in perspective, that's over 5 times taller than the world's tallest building. At that depth, the water pressure is crushing, more than 500 times normal air pressure. Regular diving equipment can't even get close. Manned submarines have their limits too, and every year that passes, saltwater corrosion makes recovery even more dangerous. Webster's body, the Skyhawk, and the B-43 bomb remain on the Pacific floor, untouched and unreachable. Just 3 years later, another disaster at the bottom of the ocean. But this time, it wasn't a deck accident. It was the complete disappearance of a nuclear submarine. May 22, 1968, the nuclear submarine USS Scorpion was heading home from a routine mission in the Mediterranean. On board, 99 crew members and 2 Mark 45 nuclear torpedoes. The last communication with the Scorpion came at 9:42 p.m. The sub was supposed to arrive at the Norfolk Naval Base in Virginia on May 27th. It never did. When the Scorpion didn't show up, the US Navy launched one of the biggest search operations in history. Ships, aircraft, and submersibles searched thousands of square miles of the Atlantic. 5 months later, the wreckage was finally located over 10,000 feet down southwest of the Azores. The submarine had imploded under extreme pressure. But what caused the disaster? Mechanical failure? Enemy attack? Nobody knows for sure. What we do know is that 99 men died instantly, and 2 Mark 45 nuclear torpedoes are down there with them. The Navy considers the torpedoes contained by the submarine structure, but salt water eats away at metal, and every year that passes, there's a greater chance of radiation leaking into the ocean. Not all lost bombs are in the ocean though. In 1961, 2 nuclear weapons fell on American soil, and one of them almost destroyed North Carolina. January 24th, 1961, half past midnight. A B-56 Stratosphere was flying over Goldsboro, North Carolina on an airborne alert mission. On board, 2 Mark 39 hydrogen bombs, each with the power of 3.8 megatons. That's 260 times more powerful than Hiroshima. Then a catastrophic structural failure. The right wing started leaking fuel fast. The plane lost altitude. The commander ordered the crew to bail out. As the crew members parachuted out, the B-56 broke apart in midair. Both Mark 39 bombs were ejected and started falling toward the ground. The first bomb deployed its parachute and came down relatively intact, landing in a tree. Regular teams found it hanging from the branches, swaying gently in the wind. But the second bomb was different. Its parachute failed. It fell at terminal velocity, punched through the ground, and sunk 50 feet deep into waterlogged farmland. Here's the part that'll keep you up at night. When experts recovered the first bomb and examined it, they discovered that of the 4 safety switches designed to prevent detonation, 3 had failed during the fall. Only 1 low-voltage switch prevented a nuclear explosion on American soil. If that switch had failed, an area with a radius of 11 miles would have been completely vaporized. The city of Goldsboro would have ceased to exist. Radioactive fallout would have reached Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, and New York. Millions of people would have been exposed to deadly radiation. Military teams worked for weeks trying to recover the second bomb. They managed to get most of the parts back, but one critical piece, containing enriched uranium, was too deep. The mud kept collapsing. The excavation became impossible. So the Air Force did something unprecedented. They bought an easement on the land. To this day, there's a legal clause preventing anyone from digging in that area. And there it sits, 50 feet underground, beneath a quiet farm field in North Carolina, lies parts of a 3.8 megaton hydrogen bomb. Farmers occasionally plow the field. Kids play nearby. Life goes on as normal. But down below, the uranium remains, silent and forgotten. 6 nuclear weapons scattered across the globe, some thousands of feet deep in the ocean, one buried under a farm, and nobody knows exactly where they are. These broken arrow incidents aren't just historical curiosities. They exposed critical flaws in nuclear safety protocols and led to major changes. In 1968, the United States permanently ended all airborne alert flights, missions where bombers circled 24/7 carrying nuclear weapons, ready to strike at a moment's notice. Each of these lost weapons serves as a reminder of the enormous risks of the atomic age. And here's a really troubling detail. These are only the cases we know about, the accidents that were officially acknowledged. How many other broken arrows might have happened that were never revealed? How many other weapons could be lost at the bottom of the ocean or buried somewhere waiting to be discovered? As search technology advances, these weapons remain silent, guarded by nature, by depth, and maybe by time. Perhaps it's better that some of them are never found. Which of these cases unsettled you the most? Tybee Island, where people swim within miles of a nuclear bomb, or Goldsboro, where just one switch prevented a catastrophe that could have killed millions? Drop a comment below. And if you want more deep dives into the hidden history of the Cold War, subscribe and hit that notification bell. See you in the next one.